story that is known in Christianity as the parable of the Good Samaritan was recorded by Luke. Even though Luke was Saul's follower and he recorded much error, like his spiritual mentor Saul, he did speak some truth as well. All of Satan's servants do. This is how they are effective at deceiving people. They mix in some truth with their lies. Saul was correct when he said that we are to love our neighbor as ourselves. Obviously, he just repeated what our Messiah had said that the eyewitnesses recorded elsewhere. But he left out the greatest commandment, which is to love Yahweh Elohim with all of our hearts and with all of our thoughts and with our entire lives. Yesterday, my father put me in a couple of different situations where a couple of different Good Samaritans showed up to assist me. The first situation was when I blew a tire on the way out of town. I am sure that if I had been clothed in Satan's black priesty poopy robes that several people would have stopped to help me. But since I was clothed in white linen, the traffic just kept zooming by, except for one Good Samaritan stopped to offer his help as I was finishing up. This man was an extremely kind man, and he very politely listened to what I said about what was coming and why it was coming. I shared with him how loving our neighbor as ourselves is just part of the equation, but that we also have to have our focus on becoming our Creator's righteousness, and how loving His Torah teaches us His righteousness. I spoke to him about how I had been sent by our Elohim to restore all things, as was prophesied that one would be sent to do, and talked to him a little bit about the resume I was sent with. I spoke to him about what our Messiah said about obeying his Father and what the prophets recorded for the time of the end. But he was looking forward to the conversation ending so that he could go on his way, because in the end, he wanted to hold on to Saul's lies about being saved by grace apart from the works of the Torah, instead of hearing what the prophets had to say. He certainly had no respect for Ezekiel's promise that he recorded, Yahweh saying that he sent me either. People can dismiss that as just insanity, just to hold on to Saul's lies. After this, I traveled into the woods, and the gravel ended, and I got stuck on a very slippery road. A man and a younger man that was with him, that I believe was his son, happened along the way, and they helped me out. I spoke with them about what was coming and why it was coming as well, and they still offered to help me out even after this. This man was also very, very kind and very polite. After I was unstuck, I shared with them that Saul is the abomination of desolation, and he politely listened for a while. But then the end result of the conversation was the same as the one earlier with the other Good Samaritan. Even though I shared what the prophets said about things like why Yahweh is sending his wrath, and even though I shared other proofs from the scriptures to what I spoke, he departed clinging to his saved by grace apart from the works of the Torah doctrines as well. I quoted Yeshua's own words to both of these men, but they love Saul's words instead. It is amazing how Christianity is willing to let Saul and his followers Luke and Mark's writings trump the writings of the prophets and the eyewitnesses that recorded what our Messiah spoke. It really was incredible to witness this, because like I said, both of these men were indeed Good Samaritans, yet our Creator's righteousness has no place in their hearts. They had no interest in hearing about returning to the Torah with the statutes and judgments and purging out evil like we're commanded to do. They had no interest in hearing about the weightier matters of the Torah, like our Creator's righteous judgments and the true faith that His Son has. They were just happy to be able to help me, and they departed feeling good about themselves for doing so. It is easy to see why our Elohim is going to destroy those who do not love His righteousness. We are here for more than just to love one another. Believing a part truth like this believing that it is the whole truth is believing into a lie. Believing, we said that before, believing a part truth is the whole truth. It makes it a lie. Christianity is a lie that came from their father Satan, no matter how good it looks on the surface. The typical Good Samaritan has no interest in hearing about purging out evil from our midst like we are commanded to do. They just want to talk about love. What they do not realize is that it is not love to let evils like lying and adultery and homosexuality and things like this continue in our midst. It is evil to do so, because in letting them continue in our midst, they flourish and evil multiplies and it spreads like cancer. It is love for is it love for them to be allowed to lead others, like even our children, into their abominations? These things lead to the lake of fire. It is the spirit of murder to let them fester and flourish. Part of the test of us being here in the flesh is to purge out these things from our midst so that our minds are programmed to loathe them. It's all part of the process of becoming as He is. It was amazing to witness what I witnessed yesterday, because these two men were definitely representatives of the cream of the crop in Christianity, yet our Creator's righteousness had no place in their hearts. Even though they listened politely, they had no interest in hearing what His Word says about obeying Him to become as He is. They had no fear whatsoever, even though one had come before them clothed in linen and speaking the same words that our Messiah and the other prophets spoke. They feel good about having their good deeds, and they are propped up by them. Our Messiah said that they will come to Him and say, Master, Master, did we not do many wonderful works in your name? And He will say, Depart from me, I never knew you, because you did not do my Father's Torah. You practice lawlessness. It really is quite the witness that He has sent me to witness. The good news is that all that opposes His righteousness will soon be purged out. And not only will the earth be full of Good Samaritans, these Good Samaritans will also love Yahweh Elohim's righteousness with all of their hearts and with all of their thoughts and with their entire lives. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim.